Hi, this is Michael Allen with iDateMedia.com, and this is episode number 4. And in this episode, we're going to discuss how to start a dating website. But first and foremost, it is Thanksgiving here in the States, so I want to wish everyone here in the U.S. a happy Thanksgiving, and I hope all is going well in these trying times. So let's go ahead and get into it. So over the last 20 years, I've started and sold plenty of dating sites, and so what I speak of here is exactly what I've done to make these niche dating sites successful. So one of the first things you have to do is you have to have a good domain name. And that domain name, a lot of people, well, let me back up a second. I have a lot of customers that think that they need these long tail domains with their keywords in them, keyword dash keyword dash keyword dash keyword. And while that may have been great for the old school way of SEO, Google doesn't look at that like that anymore. So you don't need to have a massive keyword rich domain name. So what you want to do is you want to have a catchy domain name. And that means coming up with something unique. You look at Zoosk, you look at eHarmony, you look at Farmers Only. There's kind of a mix there of having that niche word in there. So it's always good just to have that niche, but come up with something creative. When it comes to the actual idea of your niche dating site, you want to be something that you're familiar with. I get a lot of customers who ask me what kind of niche dating site should I start, and my answer is always, well, what's your hobby? What are you interested in? And so building a dating site around your hobby is going to be essential. Because if you build a dating site, say, for wine drinkers, yet you drink beer, that doesn't make sense. So it needs to be built around your hobby and your interest. It's something that you like, so you're going to find that it's going to be something a lot easier to do than something that you don't like. So you got to have that niche idea. If you have an issue with trying to come up with a niche, just go ahead and give me a call or shoot an email and ask me. I'll ask you what your hobbies are, and I'll help you come up with a pretty good niche as well as a domain name. As far as the dating software, you're going to need a good piece of dating software when you're starting to build a dating site. And I feel like iDateMedia has the best software just because a large niche market dating sites like Farmers Only, Thai Love Lines, they use the software. They've used it for years and it works. So if you want to look at some success stories, check out Farmers Only. They're here in the States. When it comes to hosting, with our dating software, it's going to come included. It's lifetime hosting. Now, it's not a dedicated server. It's not a VPS. It's basically it's a dedicated server that we have, but it's partitioned off as a shared server for you. That's if you get it. It's designed for starter sites that are building their profile base and their traffic. Once you get to a point where you've got thousands and thousands of active members, you're going to want to look at getting your own VPS or dedicated hosting. You're going to outgrow iDateMedia.com's free hosting. The next thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get it set up. Get the default software installed. We install it for free. There's no charge for that. The best template that we have is the template called Chorus. That comes on version 10. It's fully responsive. All you need to do is change the images, the text, the colors, the profile questions, and you've made it your own. It's essential to create the images or find images that are relevant to your niche. If you're, say, a wine lover site, you don't want to have a picture of a couple and nothing else. You want to have a picture of a couple drinking wine. That fits your niche. As well as the text that you use on the site. You don't want to say, welcome to our online dating site and here are your matches. No, you want to include what your hobby is, whether it's wine, beer, Christians, Buddhist, motorcycles, whatever your niche is. The verbiage that you use, especially on your front page, which is going to be your landing page, is essential to your niche. The next part is going to be about getting profiles. This comes after you've got your site set up. You've got it how you want it. You've got your images changed, text changed. You got your profile questions how you want it. And now you're in a point where you need to start building the profile base. This is where friends and family come in. You want to enlist them to create a few profiles. This means creating a few profiles yourself. As I've stated in, I believe, the first podcast, you don't want to buy profiles. You should take a listen to that podcast, and I'll explain why. But in a nutshell, real people emailing fake profiles on your site is going to cause you reputation problems. So start with friends and family, get real profiles on there. If you need to create a few fake ones, go ahead just to kind of build it up. But friends and family are great. Social media is the next aspect of getting your profiles on there. In that other original podcast, I discuss how to use Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and other social media sites to build up that profile base. So you definitely want to utilize all the social media platforms because they're free. Don't worry about paying for ads right now. When you're building a dating site, you're obviously going to be free. The objective is to build up that profile base before you go into a paid mode. Once you get a sizable profile base, it's time to either keep it free or flip on the paid switch. With the dating software, you can go from free to paid in just one setting, and it's time to market it. So you can start charging the memberships. It's easy to set up your memberships in the admin area. It's the best memberships to create are 1 month, 6 months, 12 months, and a lifetime membership. And with a lifetime membership, you're basically telling your members that if something happens, you're going to be here for them. The average life expectancy of a dating member is going to be around 3 months, and if you're charging $25 a month, you're only going to get $75 out of them. But if you have a lifetime membership, there's a psychological aspect to that. You charge $199, you'll make more money, and this is proven. I've done this over the years, and in my dating sites, I've made more money selling lifetime memberships than I was selling monthly memberships. So you got to get out there and hustle with that. As far as other aspects of marketing, you can check out nicheadnetwork.com. This is a company I founded a few years back, and I'm no longer part of this company, but they have a very large dating network, and it's a CPC network. CPC stands for cost per click. You're going to pay around 50 cents a click. That was the last time I checked it, but that's still cheaper than using AdWords, which is going to could cost you anywhere from $1 on up, $6, and it's going to be expensive. That's if you're running paid ads. If you're going to keep your site free, then the dating software has banner locations, ad spots. So you can add AdSense to your dating site, and you can get paid for when people click on the ads. How much you make is really dependent on the amount of traffic you have and the exit traffic that you get. People leaving your site are going to click on links, so it's best to have Google AdSense so that you can monetize it when people leave your site. Now, one of the biggest questions I get is, how much money could I potentially make with my dating site? Well, that's it depends on a lot of factors, but I'll kind of ballpark it so you can kind of have some expectation of how much money you could potentially make. So starting out, if you do all the things right, keep it free, build up the profile base, you got a good niche, you're using social media the right way, you can start to look at going from free to paid mode in about 6 months. That's if you're doing it right. You could probably have a couple thousand profiles. So on average, you're looking at somewhere around $2,000 to $7,000 a month on your niche. That's average. Now, those numbers can change depending on the niche, but the niches that I've started, the niches that I've worked with, that's what you're looking at. Some of my customers who get the unlimited license start multiple sites. They understand that, okay, if I'm going to get $3,000 out of this dating site, I'm going to start a couple more and I'm going to boost my revenue up to $9,000. That's not unheard of. In fact, it happens more often than you think. The key here with this dating site is that you have to keep it going. You cannot give up. I have a customer, and she's been doing this since 2002 or 2003. Actually, maybe a little bit longer, later than that, but I know it's over 13 years. And she's doing 5 figures a month. Now, 5 figures a month, I can't go into details on exactly how much, but 5 figures a month, you're looking at somewhere between $10,000 and $99,000. So that's a lot of money. She's been doing it for a long time. What differentiates her from the others is that she did not give up. She kept it going. She had a niche. It wasn't saturated when she started, and she just kept at it. And she was working for a company when she started it. She, a few years back, she's started full-time on her dating site because she's making the money. So there is money out there to be made in dating. The key is to not give up, find a good niche, get a good piece of software, make sure it works, make it fully responsive, and the last part is be transparent. And I've talked about this in previous podcasts, and it's very important. In this day and age with the internet, you have people that have short attention spans. That means if they can't figure out what your site is doing very quickly, they're going to bail. So it's very important to post content on the front part of your website. I recommend a YouTube video where it's you behind the camera. You in front of the camera. And you explain what your dating site is about. You say who you are, what your dating site is about, and ways to contact you. That's being transparent. Put your phone number on there, put your email on there, and let people know, hey, we created this dating site for this reason. We want to help people match in this niche market, whatever that market is. Being transparent. The days of not being transparent, they're gone. If you want to succeed in dating, you have to be transparent. There are still, which surprises me, there are still dating sites out there, even some of my customers that just don't want to deal with that. They're not going to be successful. That's just a sad reality. If you throw a dating site up with a specific niche and you're hiding contact information, you don't explain who you are, you don't put yourself out in front of it, it's not going to succeed. It just won't. It's just the reality. Being transparent, being open, and being responsive. When a customer contacts you and says, "Hey, why am I being billed for this?" and if you've got membership tactics that auto bill, which we don't recommend, you need to be responsive to people. If people have questions, you want to answer quickly. People love instant gratification, especially when they can get that answer. Why am I being charged $24 every month? You explain it to them. Why am I auto billed, which I don't recommend? You explain it to them. That's what it is. Don't bury these answers in your terms and conditions and just rely on that. You're going to get chargebacks. Chargebacks are very high in the dating space. Payment gateway companies consider dating high risk simply because there are so many chargebacks. People getting auto-charged at the end of their membership, their subscription, when they just didn't know because it was buried in the terms and conditions. Don't auto-renew, auto-bill every month. What you want to do is you want to set it for 1 month and then let them renew it. You will have fewer chargebacks and a lot more happy customers. So these are kind of the basic steps for starting a dating website. Now, it's really dependent on your niche, on some of the things that you need to do. Obviously, adult-oriented dating sites are going to be different from a regular dating sites. So there's different marketing aspects. There's different, obviously, content that's being created and stuff like that. So it really depends. But if you have an idea of a dating site that you want to start, you can go ahead and contact me. I can sign an NDA. We can talk about your market, and we can do some research together to figure out if it's going to be a great market for you. And of course, if it is, then we'll help you get it started and help you get it going. So that's going to be it for this podcast. I want to thank everybody for listening, and once again, happy Thanksgiving, and we'll talk to you soon.